What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dale and I make videos based off fitness and health, so if you're into that sort of thing, please consider subscribing below. So one of the big reasons why people don't even start diets in the first place is because their lifestyle doesn't really fit a diet. Whether they're out all the time, they're constantly on the go, they have a lot of birthday parties, a lot of parties to attend, work parties, stuff like that. They're just not willing to adapt a lifestyle into a diet, which I'm totally fine with. I think you should always adapt your diet around a lifestyle opposed to the other way around, so I'm cool with that. Now, that being said, there are things that you can do in order to make that transition a lot easier from your hectic, on-the-go lifestyle to a dieting lifestyle without completely getting rid of everything. So in this video, I am going to be going over the different ways where you would accommodate your diet and your lifestyle when you go out to eat at a restaurant. Now, I'm aware that everybody has different goals in mind, different dieting styles, and your diets may be more or less intense than another person. So for that reason, I am going to be going over 3 types of dieters, I guess you would say, in this video, where I'm going to explain tips for each one of those 3 people. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. So we'll start by identifying the 3 types of dieters in terms of going out to eat at restaurants. So the first type is going to be the person that just does not care. They're going out to eat. They don't care that they're on a diet. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, whether they're on a diet or not. And that is that. The second type of person is going to be the person who wants to enjoy the experience of going out to eat and doesn't want to completely change everything. After all, it is supposed to be a dining experience. So they are going to just look for the healthier options without going full-blown diet. And you guessed it, the third type of dieter is going to be someone who is on a super strict diet and is not willing to budge on that diet, not too interested in the experience of going out to eat as much as they're interested in staying as lean as possible, minimizing the amount of calories that they consume, whether they're doing a bodybuilding show or whatever. Those people are going to be the third one that I go over. First, we're gonna start with the people that do not care about their diet when they go out to eat. And for those people, the advice that I have is, well, it doesn't really matter what advice I have. You people are not gonna listen to me anyway. So why would I even waste my time giving you advice? Please subscribe. Now, I'm just joking, but all seriousness, you can go out to eat and get whatever you want. It doesn't really matter in the long term, as long as your diet's pretty close to on point or fairly strict on the other days of the week. It's not gonna make a big difference what you got that one time you went out to dinner. So keep that in mind. It's really not a big deal. The second type of dieter that we are going to be going over is the person who's going out to eat and wants to enjoy the experience. They don't go out to eat often. They want to make sure that they're getting that dining experience. They're eating foods that they normally wouldn't be eating at home, but they want to keep their health in mind. They don't want to go out and get a burger and fries. They're trying to pay attention to their calories without really being dead set on keeping them as low as possible. So this section is going to have a little bit of crossover with the super strict dieter, and it's just going to take some things away from that. So the first thing that I would recommend is to drink water. Make sure that you're drinking water before you go and before you start eating. So when you go to a restaurant, generally you'll get your drinks, they'll bring out bread, and then they'll bring out your meal however you order it. My advice would be to drink 1 glass of water before you really start eating the bread. Why? Because it is going to help curb the hunger just a little bit. Keep in mind, these aren't complete changes. You're not gonna not eat your dinner because you drank a glass of water. You're still gonna be hungry enough to eat the dinner, but it's going to help a little bit. And for these types of people, a little bit might be all you need to really make a difference. Along with water, another tip that I have would be to, 1, either order a side salad with your meal, or 2, eat a salad before you go. Now, I know what you're thinking, that is insane. I'm going out to eat, I'm not gonna eat before. This doesn't have to be a major salad, right? This just has to be something to curb your hunger so that when you get there, you don't fill up on bread. A lot of the times when we go to restaurants, a big calorie spike comes from bread that we're consuming before the meal even gets started. So whether that be bread with butter or bread with oil, there's tons of calories that we are consuming before we ever even get to our meal. So if we are going to be a little bit less hungry before the meal starts, and when you get that bread, you're gonna eat less of it, which will result in less calories, which is gonna help you significantly. Another thing, always make sure when the waiter or waitress asks that you want your salad before the meal, not with it. The reason for this is the same thing. You're sensing a bit of a theme here, and that is that when you eat the salad before your meal, you're going to be a little less hungry, so that when the meal gets there, instead of eating the whole thing and then looking at your girlfriend's plate and then eating all of hers, or looking at your boyfriend's plate and eating some of his, it's not going to happen that way. You're going to be a little more satiated because you ate the salad first. If you get it at the same time, you may eat half the salad and then you're really hungry and you just eat the whole meal, versus eating the whole salad when you're really hungry and then being a little bit less hungry when the meal comes. The second tip for these types of people is going to be to pick a lean meat as the base of the meal. So think of it as chicken breast is going to be leaner than ground beef at a restaurant. So you're going to prioritize a chicken sandwich versus a hamburger because the meat is leaner, and that's where a lot of the calories are coming from. So you'll see in the next section how to make this even more improved and even less calorie, but I will get there when I get there. So for this, I would suggest ordering the leanest meat possible as the base of your meal if you're really trying to keep your health in mind. It's gonna help you with satiety. It's gonna ensure that there's some protein in there. And I also wanna mention that you should eat the base of the meal first. If you get a sandwich or a wrap and fries, you're going to want to eat that sandwich or wrap before the fries. The reason why is because you may not be as hungry by the time you get to the fries as you would if you ate them first, which would save you a ton of calories if you ate less of them. You don't have to eat the whole plate. There's no rule saying you have to eat your own plate. This isn't 1975. You do not need to finish the plate. You could bring some home with you. Tip number 3 is going to be to enjoy the experience, right? When we go out to eat, a lot of the time, there's a lot of conversation going. You're out with your family, you're out with your business partners, you're out with coworkers. You want to enjoy the experience. When you go out to eat, it's usually talk, then the food comes out, you eat it, then you talk for like 5 minutes and then you leave. One thing that will help you is to enjoy the experience aspect and slow down. You do not need to eat like you've never had a meal before or you're never gonna have one again. Enjoy that experience. The talking doesn't have to stop when the food comes out so everybody can finish their plates in 5 minutes and then you're out of the door in 10 minutes. There's no reason for that. Enjoy the experience, slow down. The slower that you eat, the more your brain will register that how much food is getting intaked, is being taken in, and it is going to send signals saying that you are no longer hungry. I bet you if you made a hamburger and ate it all in like 30 seconds, you're gonna want another one because you don't know that you just ate it. Your brain has not sent the signals to your body yet saying that you just ate a hamburger. You ate it too fast. You slow down, you're gonna register it, you chew more, stuff like that, and it is going to make it so you're not necessarily blowing through that whole dinner in 5 minutes, and you get to enjoy the experience more. It makes it more fun and enjoyable. Tip number 4, super quick, don't get dessert. And if you do get dessert, split it with somebody. It's really that simple. If you care about your health that much to say that you're dieting and trying to make a change at a restaurant, you're probably not getting a dessert anyway. But the small tip for that would just be if you get a dessert, split it with somebody else. You eat less calories. It's that easy. And last but not least, the people who are going out to eat on a strict diet. The first tip would really be just all the repeats from the last one. You're gonna take all of the stuff I just said about the person who's keeping health in mind. We're just going to expand upon them. So still get your water, still get your salad, except with the salad, you might want to be more careful about the dressing, maybe put no dressing on at all, or bring your own. I know that most people would look at me sideways if I told them that, but it is possible to do. Just sneak it in and don't tell them I told you to do it. Another thing you're gonna wanna do if you are on a strict diet is you're going to want to substitute your starches for vegetables. So if you get your chicken sandwich and fries, you're gonna wanna swap the fries for vegetables. Be aware, if you're at a restaurant, they're not cooking these vegetables as low calorie as possible. They're probably using oils to make them taste really good. So they're not as low calorie as they would be at home. If you can get them steamed, that's the best way to do it at a restaurant. So keep that in mind. Another tip, if you are a very strict dieter at a restaurant, I would avoid sandwiches or wraps. Now that doesn't mean don't order them. What I'm saying is avoid eating the breads or the wraps. The reason why is because these restaurants don't use low-calorie buns or bread or wraps. There's a ton of calories in them. So what you're gonna wanna do is, if you got a sandwich or a wrap, just empty the stuff out and eat it without eating the wrap, like an open-faced sandwich. I would recommend doing that. What I'd really recommend is getting more of a dinner-style meal that doesn't come with like excess bread. It's just gonna save you a ton of calories and it'll add more protein if you're keeping in mind making the lean protein the base of the meal. So if you got, say, a chicken breast versus a chicken breast on 2 slices of bread, it's going to obviously save you calories. And another thing, even though the restaurant may have the calories on the menu, it's really just an estimation. They don't know. The chef in the back is not weighing out the food before he cooks it. He's not measuring out the oil. They're chefs, they're trying to make it taste as good as possible so you'll come back. The calories are an estimation. You're not sure. So if you're not sure, assume the worst at a restaurant in terms of calories if you're on a super strict diet. Like I said, this is only for people, for the most part, that are like bodybuilders or people that really need to pay attention, not for like the everyday person. So for those people, I would say bring some home. Set aside some stuff if you're not hungry and bring it home. It is not the end of the world if you bring some of the food home and save it for later. You don't have to force feed yourself. Don't eat it all at once, especially if you're on a super strict diet. Again, unlike the people who are keeping health in mind, if you're on a super strict diet, just don't get dessert. It's not harsh me telling you that. If you're on a super strict diet going out, you're probably not getting dessert anyways, but I would not get it. So that's gonna be it for this week's video. I really appreciate you guys checking the video out. If you learned anything or took anything away from this of value, please consider subscribing, hit the like button on the video. If you enjoyed this one, please consider checking out some of my other videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.